The second scenario is that you got either interrupted or distracted in the middle of a plan. Like, a friend came, you did some time pass, you spent some hours on YouTube, and the list is endless. So, in that case, you have to really work on dialing down those distractions. It is very important that you don't fatigue your mind when you're in that 15-minute or that whatever 20-minute break. Like, you shouldn't play video games in that break, okay? Like, you'll not get energized in any way. You'll just fatigue your own mind and be even less productive in the next slot.
Welcome everyone to our show, Success Tips from Toppers' Lips. So, as you all know, every week we try to interview toppers of different exams like NEET, CLAT, JEE, you name it, and we try to share the secrets of these toppers' success with all of you. And I'm Giridhar. I'm a software developer at Microsoft, and I'm your host for this program. And let me tell you, today's program is going to be very interesting because my dear friend Soham is here with you to share on a very important topic, right? Before going into the topic, let me introduce Soham. Soham has secured an All India rank of 46 in IIT JEE 2021. So, Soham, I mean, kudos, man. Congratulations for doing so well. And you are in the dream college, right? You are in the IIT Bombay Computer Science. That's what
Yeah.
you're pursuing right now. And this is what I think most of our viewers today who are going to be watching this video, they'll be like, "Bhai, IIT Bombay CS chahiye." You know, you are there. So maybe before going to the topic, do you want to just take a minute to talk about your experience of being in IIT and how being an IITian?
Yeah. So IIT has been awesome till now, at least. The profs are awesome. The campus is very big, and I've explored a lot and discovered myself in a way.
I
But
see.
the biggest gift I have received after coming into IIT is the amazing people I've met who have
Ah,
undergone through this journey, and that has helped me gain a lot of insight.
absolutely. I think this is true for most of the people who go into IITs, right? It's really amazing. And yes, so the topic for today is going to help all our viewers get into IIT and undergo this self-discovery process which you talked about. So, what is your topic, and could you tell us why you chose this topic?
Sure. So my topic today is going to be study planning, basically. So you always see these videos on YouTube giving motivation, and these videos have millions of views, all right. But when you actually see these same teachers teaching some topic on YouTube, you see that the amount of views fall by at least a factor of 100. So something is going wrong here, right? So my aim for today is going to be giving you some correct practices which you guys can actually implement in your day-to-day studies, because only practices coupled with the correct motivation is going to help you achieve your goals.
Exactly. That's so true, right? Like actually, I think if you even if you're doing the right thing, right? If you're studying well, you're getting, you're putting in the right effort. That itself gives some level of intrinsic motivation.
Exactly.
Whereas if you just watch a video and somebody is like, "Bhai, tu aag hai, tu kar sakta hai,
Hmm.
ye wo," they do that, and you get
Yep.
pumped for like 2 hours, and then after
And
that you
then
don't start
then it
making
dies.
use of it, and then like it's all gone, right? So
Yep.
that's very true. So you're sharing the right practices as well, and that's critical. So this is very important stuff that our viewers should know, right?
Yep.
So, so tell us, what did you discover in your journey of getting your AIR, right? You got an All India rank of 46. What was the role of study planning in that? And what is your realization about how a student should plan his schedule to get success in his or her attempt at, various exams and finally JEE, right?
Yeah. So what I discovered during this journey was that most of the anxiety that I had basically came from the lack of study, right? So if I had pending tasks, I was procrastinating. That burden was the source of anxiety, not any. That was the major source of anxiety, not anything else. So the best way to solve this is actually studying.
Yeah.
So how to do this? So I myself faced this when I was going into the beginning of 12th, because the course load, you guys can observe, actually jumps significantly from the level of 11th standard. So what I did was I figured out a concrete timetable. So I used to make slots. Like in this slots, I do this. Then I have a break. I have this slot. So I used to plan out everything the day before, and I had basically a very structured understanding of what I'm going to do, which is going to be the main point of discussion here. And one of the pro tips, as you can call, is that whenever you have a lot of work pending, it is more important to just start working and get that load cleared out rather than figuring out what is the optimal way to do this. So just start planning, put some things in the slots, and start ticking those boxes off.
Interesting. So you spoke about the slots. Could you tell some more about, like, what are these slots that you used to make in a day, and run us through how you would, like, I think it seems like you would sit at
Yeah,
the end of the day and you would kind of make a plan for the next day, right?
yeah,
Could you run us through an example, something like that, so that it's more clear?
yeah. So, yeah. So first, I'll talk a bit about planning in general, right?
Right.
So what I discovered was that planning is a feedback loop. So how you start planning is you actually make a mock plan. Like suppose today I make a mock plan that tomorrow I wake up at 7:30. So from 8 to 10 I will do physics. I will do for the first 20 questions of exercises. Then I'll take a short break between 10 and 10:30. And from 11:30 to 12:30 I plan to study chemistry. From 12:30 to 2:30, suppose I have lunch plus some pre-class reading. From 2:30 to 5:30 I have a lecture, from and so on till the day completes. So this is a mock plan I have. What the feedback loop does is that there are only two outcomes of this plan. You'll either complete it or you won't. So if you do complete it, what happens is that you get some motivation. That's good. So either the next day you can plan to have the same amount of content, or you can try to push your limits a bit. That's your call. And the eventual result you want is you keep pushing your limits so that your attention span increases and so on. If the plan doesn't complete, which is where most of the people face their issues, in my experience,
Exactly.
there,
Myself
there are
included. Yeah.
there are some causes for this. The first cause being that your plan was unrealistic, that you planned too much and you were a bit over ambitious with your plans. In that case, you have to dial that down and plan with less content the next day and see what happens. The second scenario is that you got either interrupted or distracted in the middle of a plan. Like, a friend came, you did some time pass, you spent some hours on YouTube, and the list is endless. So, in that case, you have to really work on dialing down those distractions, making slots, and make sure that you stay productive. The third option is that something happened beyond your control. Okay, so this stuff happens, right? You some like get sick in some weeks, or you have a function you really need to attend, or you helped a friend solve a problem and some time went by. So that's okay. You just plan again next day and see what happens. And one tip is don't overplan, right? So what I used to do was I had a student diary with me. I used to make weekly plans, and in day to day I used to make slots. So like साल का वगैरह plan मत बनाओ. Okay, keep the plans limited so that you have a concrete understanding of what you are doing.
I see. That's very interesting. So, what I really felt, what you said is very nice, is that that it's a feedback loop. Like, you will have to analyze, not just make a plan for the next day, but if your plan was not successful, you may have to spend some time trying to figure out, okay, why was I more distracted, and was there things out of my control, or was it over ambitious? And these things will also make us more productive, as we proceed with our journey, right? Otherwise, what can happen is we may just, we may be just coasting along thinking, yeah, I'm trying my best, but we're not actually realizing that, oh, I'm losing time. I can make more time. These kinds of things, right?
Yep.
So last question on this topic, I want to know, like, when you make a block or like a slot, right? You said, okay, 9 to 11, I want to do physics. So what do you plan? Do you say like, okay, I want to do these many questions, or do you say that I want to cover this concept? So how, like, what may happen for many students is like, they may, especially when you're studying a topic for the first time, like when
Yep.
you're studying in 11th, what happens is you don't know how long something is going to take. You may come across a tough question which takes very long. You may
Yeah.
come across a concept which you're struggling with. So
Yep.
you may have to spend more time. And what happens when when you make a plan is you don't know how much time it will take. So how do you deal with that?
Okay. So what happens here? This is again coming into the category of a feedback loop, right? So you plan how much. First of all, you should never plan by hours. Okay.
Okay.
You shouldn't plan that I'm going to study physics for 2 hours. That's a terrible plan. What you should do is you should plan by content. So, suppose I decided that in physics, I'm going to do this 20 questions. Suppose 20 questions of rotational mechanics, suppose whatever exercise one single correct 1 to 20. And then you'll realize that in those 2 hours, how productive your time actually was. So, either you'll solve those 20 questions like it was nothing, like you will just complete those in half an hour and you have time left, or you can realize it was too much to do in those 2 hours. So again, sort of feedback loop and experience, and eventually you do get a hang of what is the optimal amount of questions you should do.
Got it, got it. Makes sense. So what I think, what I understand is that even if you're not perfect at it at the beginning,
Yes, yes.
don't lose hope. You try, learn from it, get going with this planning. Don't expect that on day one you'll make the perfect plan, and if you don't have it, you're like, no use planning, right?
Yeah. In addition to this, like planning, the very important thing about this is that some people get demotivated that I had planned this much and I did not complete it.
Yeah,
So the way you tackle this is, first of all, let's say you completed like 50% of your goal. Okay. And I feel that this is something that you should be proud of. So, the essence of planning is not actually completing the plan. The essence
sure.
of planning is using your time in a productive way. So it is very important to just keep planning and keep pushing on. And there is a very famous quote which I like: if you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. Right.
Yeah,
So just it's okay to not be perfect, but you have to keep planning and using your hours productively.
true. Actually, that one sentence you said is so relevant that, the essence of making a plan is not that you executed the plan successfully, but rather that you used your time effectively, right? That's what
Exactly.
and that's so true. Like, we need not get demotivated. Even if you were not able to achieve that plan, you achieved some learning outcomes, right? You understood something properly. You progressed, and that's what you should focus on instead of getting demotivated and stopping with the plan making, right? That's
Exactly.
brilliant, brilliant. So I guess one more thing is, how what all things should we include in our plan. So when we make a plan, should we also plan for breaks? Should we plan for physical exercise, or like meeting friends? Like, all of these things, did you include all of this in your plan, or do you just, like, how do you do that?
Excellent question. So again, you divide, first of all. Okay, in short, you do plan for breaks, but this is a tricky topic because sometimes instead of putting breaks in middle of studies, there are studies in middle of breaks. Okay.
Got it.
So, how you do this is you divide your entire day into slots, like I described a few moments ago. And the thing is, everyone doesn't have the same attention span. So someone might study like optimally for 1 hour, someone might study for 2 hours. That is a very personal thing, and hence everyone's plan is not going to be the same. So your
Mm.
plan should reflect whatever attention span you have, and you should make those slots accordingly. Now, between these slots, you do put breaks. Like in even in my plan, I had a break between like 10 and 10:15. I think 8 to 10, 10 to 10:15, or 10:30 break, and then again 2 hours of study. But it is very important that first of all, during the slots, no digital devices. Okay, it is pure pen and paper study, and even the now you'll say that assignments are digital. Okay, so what I preferred was that actually printing the assignment, so that it was like pure pen and paper, hardcore old school study.
I
Okay.
mean, this is so amazing a topic. I still feel the difference. So when I was studying for JEE, there was that time there was definitely no laptop and stuff. It was just books and notebooks, etc.
Yeah.
I was super effective. I was really good at studying. But when I went into college, and then it's like first year,
Yeah.
sometimes a little bit lax, and then everything is as it is on PPT or whatever. It's so much harder to concentrate and actually internalize those topics. Like, I still remember what I studied for my JEE, but what I studied in first year is like a bit here there because I use digital things for that.
Yeah. And by the way, I gave up my mobile in 12th to accompany that goal. So that if it is feasible to do that, then I would definitely recommend everyone to do that. If not, at least use some app blockers or time restricting apps to do that job. Now to the breaks. Okay. It is very important that you don't fatigue your mind when you're in that 15-minute or that whatever 20-minute break. Like you shouldn't play video games in that break. Okay, like you'll not get energized in any way. You'll just fatigue your own mind and be even less productive in the next slot. So what you should do, what I mean, it's a personal decision, but what I like to do was walk and listen to soft music, or just chat with my mom or something. So that really, gave me a bit of breathing room between studies, and really like lifted up my mood, gave me a bit built up more patience for the next slot. So
Yeah,
like walking, playing an instrument, these are the sort of activities that one should do between
true, very true.
slots.
And video games, and probably even now, I guess the more dangerous and easily accessible alternative is YouTube Shorts or
Yep.
things like that, right? Like those things, I mean, it's ironic. I don't know. We are using YouTube as a platform, but I mean, like it can eat so much time, and you may think, okay, let me just relax, let me just spend some time, but you don't. And when you actually sit back to study, that same things are playing in your mind, and you really can't focus.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, that's very true. What you said, that not only we should plan for breaks, but we should also plan for doing the right things in the breaks. So that was a very interesting topic. So yes, I think we are almost at the end of this discussion. Soham, thanks so much. And I just want to ask, so our book, The Art of Concentration in the Age of Distractions, I think you have gone through it. What do you feel about the book? How relevant is it to students? And as a topper yourself, you have achieved success. How much do you think this book is relevant to those who want to achieve success?
Yeah. So the book is a collection of really good things that people should implement in their lives. I think the book is written in such a way that the characters of a book are actually speaking to you. They have very real issues that another character helps them solve, and they share the true problems that they face with you. So it's a very real journey of a student, and the book contains very powerful motivations and powerful practices, and especially the part with Seva Bhav, that your motivation, the true motivation, is the one which serves others. So it is a very powerful book, and I would absolutely recommend it to anyone undergoing this journey.
Yes, and let me tell you an interesting thing. I honestly don't think I told this to you before, but I myself read this book in 12th standard.
Oh,
The yeah, I did. I honestly did. And this was the previous version of this. So it was earlier in the form of a more like a textbook, and it
Yeah.
was teaching the same concepts, the same ideas of how we can learn to make conscious choices, develop
Yeah.
the right habits, develop concentration, overcome low confidence issues, self doubt. How do we bounce back from a failure? How do we develop motivation? All of these things. But now this was earlier present in a very scientific format. Now that same scientific results, as you said, are they are flowing along with a really interesting story with these four characters who are facing various problems, and they're learning from their teacher. And this book has been actually read by so many students, and it's a wonderful book. And it's actually the need of the hour today, because the physics, chemistry, maths, resources teaching has become very common. Practically every student who's going to be preparing for JEE is going to study from good teachers and the right sources.
Exactly.
The difficulty comes is you're not able to use your concentration properly. You're not able to channel your energy in the right direction. Not able
Yeah.
to use your time effectively. In the exam, you get nervous and you write wrong things. And the differentiating factor actually in anything in life actually is this mental strength. And books like this will actually help us develop that, right? So
Exactly.
yeah. So again, this, dear viewers, you will find the link to this book. This book is available on Amazon, Flipkart. You'll find the link to this book in the description of this video. Do check it out. I urge you, it's a really wonderful resource. And Soham, thank you so much for your time. I think what you have shared in these 20 minutes will be very helpful to anybody who actually, goes through this video and tries to understand how they can study effectively, how they can actually complete their syllabus, right? In a good, constructive way. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.